I often find that the grapple is one of the most overlooked parts of writing compelling combat action scenes about sword fighting. Grapples and disarms in longsword fencing are advanced techniques used in close quarters combat when the distance between the fighters has closed beyond the effective range for strikes and thrusts. These techniques draw from the wrestling, ringen aspect of historical European martial arts and require a good understanding of leverage, balance, and control. Here's a detailed exploration of grappling and disarming techniques in long sword fencing. Grappling techniques. Clinch, binden. Closing in on the opponent to control their arms or weapon, often by grabbing the blade, with gloves or gauntlets for protection, or the opponent's arms. This is used to prevent them from striking and to set up throws or disarms. Throws and takedowns, werfen, using leverage and balance manipulation to bring the opponent to the ground. This can involve tripping, sweeping the legs, or using the body's weight to unbalance the opponent. Arm locks and joint manipulation. Applying pressure to the opponent's joints to control their movement or force them into a vulnerable position. These techniques must be practiced with care to avoid injury. Disarming techniques leverage disarms, using the longsword as a lever to twist the weapon out of the opponent's grip. This often involves positioning the sword or arm in a way that applies force against the weakest part of the opponent's grip. Pressure. Disarms. Applying pressure directly to the opponent's hands or fingers to force them to release their weapon. This can be done by pressing with the sword or with the hands. Striking disarms. Using a controlled strike to the opponent's weapon hand or arm to jar the weapon loose. This requires precision and control to execute safely. Integrating grapples and disarms from the bind. Many grappling and disarming techniques start from a bind, where the swords are crossed and pressure is applied by both fencers. Recognizing the opportunity to transition from the bind to a grapple or disarm is key. Close quarters. As the distance closes, fencers should be prepared to switch from sword fighting to wrestling techniques. This requires awareness of both the opponent's and one's own body position and balance. Strategic considerations. Opportunistic use. Grapples and disarms are most effective when used opportunistically, capitalizing on an opponent's mistake or overcommitment. Risk versus reward. While grappling and disarming can decisively end a confrontation, they also involve risks, such as exposing oneself to counterattacks. Assessing the situation and opponent's skill level before attempting these techniques is essential. Control and restraint. In a historical or sport context, the goal is to demonstrate skill and control rather than to cause injury. Techniques should be applied with an understanding of their potential to harm, and with respect for the opponent. Grapples and disarms add a significant depth to longsword fencing, bridging the gap between swordsmanship and wrestling. Mastery of these techniques enhances a fencer's versatility, allowing them to adapt to changing circumstances within a bout and to exploit close-range engagements effectively. However, due to the inherent risks of close-quarters combat, a disciplined approach to training and a strong emphasis on safety are paramount. Incorporating longsword grappling techniques into a fictional fight scene can add a thrilling sense of realism and intensity. Not only does it showcase the character's skill and adaptability, but it also creates opportunities for unexpected plot twists and character development as they navigate the challenges of close-quarters combat. With that said, this has been Jayce Ran. Over and out.